All right. I'm here. I'm here. Testing 1, 2. All right. Good. Good Monday morning. Today, I am working on Seven Wonders, my Seven Wonders game engine. Woo! Okay. And I was in the process, I think, last time, if I recall correctly, yep, of making a little CLI to basically test this thing as I'm developing it. So right now, what do I've got going here? Run game here. Okay, I think I just got a simple read line interface going. So if I was to do, let's say npm start, maybe? Did I hook that up yet? Oh, looks like I did. Oh, there we go. There's our read line that doesn't do anything except print a prompt. If I type yo, nothing happens. Okay. Alright, so have a great day. Oh, cool. Alright. Now, what do I have? I've got the game set up. A basic game setup hooked up. And my idea was that I could make a one game run through. Very, very simple. With one basic game mechanic implemented, which is to discard each turn, just discard a card to get some money in return. So I would need to implement that. I think that's pretty much what I've got to do now, because I've got the, let's see, set up game. I'm returning a game object. That game object will have the players in an array. It'll have the decks in an array. I'll keep track of the age. It'll have a discard pile. Alright, what else do we need? We need a way for players to track their money, which we do have. Okay, cool. Coins, to earn their coin. And we need a discard, I guess. Oh, hand. So, okay, as the game, let's see. Let's pull up the instructions here. So, the setup. For each of the 3 decks, return the box all cards which are done. Okay, so that's done. Move 10 guilds, shuffled, get me with what are the cards to make out that's done. Wonders, we don't care about that now. Coins, we're doing that already. Each age is noticed during, okay, at the beginning of each age, each player receives a hand of 7 cards dealt randomly from the corresponding deck. Dealt randomly. That's interesting. What does that mean? Well, whatever. We're already shuffling them, so. So we probably main game. All right, let's think about this here. Let's see if I make a 7 wonders. Not TS. And this will be like unless I put that logic straight in the game class. Possibly. Possibly. I would, okay, let's think about this. Could have like the step function. Because really all we need is to hmm. That's a lot to think about. How do I... I'm seeing a lot of if statements in my future. Oh dear. Okay. So the first thing. So let's say we're main calls the interface or not online or a prompt. Our Seven Wonders game here could be no, I could just use the game class and then use step. Boom. And then what do? Probably gonna need to pass some stuff into step, but let's go gradually. Let's start with how do I know that it's the very beginning of the game? Actually, what I'm interested in is beginning of the age, because the first thing we need to do at the very beginning of the age is to deal 7 cards to each player. That's what we need to do. So let's do that. How do we know that we need to do that though? We could check that the players have no cards. If the players have no cards, then that means that the age is done. So there might be things that we need to do though to... So maybe a flag is what we would need. Age ID, and direction. We could also have it is started or okay, let's do pseudocode for now. So if beginning of age deal 7 cards to each player from appropriate age deck. That's essentially it. Really. Yeah. And then we could recursively, well, not recursive, well. All right, so let's deal Deal deck. How are we gonna do this? This is gonna be a private. Start with. It's gonna be private. We're dealing a deck. That's a side effect. We're not returning anything. We're just gonna go and do 4 players. Oops. 4 const player of players. This the players. Why is this public? I don't think we need to access this from anywhere, do we? Oh. Yeah, we're setting it in the... Oh, that's cool. We can still... I could probably make this private. Just the players. Okay, and then what do we do? I slice or splice or pop from Dex. So this, not Dex. Okay, I need to know which age, so. Alright. Let's do this. This might be a little loud, eh? Okay, so how do I know which deck needs to be dealt? I simply look at this .age .id. There we go. And what do I do? I jot probably slice would return a section of an array. We don't want that. We want to splice it. Remove elements from an array. Yeah, that's probably what we want to do. Because we want the age deck to be empty once we're done with this operation. We don't want it to be... Would there be a reason not to? Happy boy, Mira. What's up? Hello, I'm currently starting to work on a horror game and I'd like to ask for some video or anything where I could at least learn the coding stuff I need. Okay, so you're just getting started, right? Haven't... What kind of horror game is it? Are you thinking a first person thing? Is it going to be a top-down view, third person, 3D, 2D? Is it a strategy horror game? Is it a... Do you have an idea a little bit? Is it a turn-based, real-time? A puzzly first person. And that's the first game you've ever made? You'll ever, like, you've never made an actual game before? All right. Well, if you're doing 3D, I highly recommend looking at Unity. Have you ever heard of Unity? It's a game engine. Um, on their site, I think it's unity3d.com. Hey, no problem. Um, yeah, understood. C-Tech. Yeah. Um, so yeah, look up here. Unity 3, I think it's unity3d.com or not. Yep, okay. All right, so if you go learn, haven't done this in a long time. Looks like they have courses and stuff now. But they also have a bunch, free courses, projects, tutorials, etc., etc., etc. Cool, cool, cool. There you go. Oh, they've added a bunch of cool stuff. But there's a bunch of tutorial videos. Browse all tutorials. There we go. Okay, so they changed it a little bit, but for basically all concepts of the engine and game making, they've got tutorials for a lot of stuff there. So yeah, and Unity's relatively easy to use, relatively being, you know, a relative word. It's got a pretty good 3D engine. So if you want to make something first person 3D, I'd recommend that. But that being said, if this would be your very first game, I would say start smaller, start 2D, learn the basics of game making, of working with a game loop and assets and working in with a vectors and movements and game objects and all that stuff and events, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into game making, especially a 3D game. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Start with a 2D game. So maybe take your game idea. I know you're thinking it's going to be a puzzle, first person kind of thing, but try to figure out how it might work in 2D instead of 3D, and maybe with a top-down view instead of a first person or third person view, and simplify it, make it short, and that way it'll be easier to make. And then once you're done with that, then maybe you can try to move on to your grander vision. There's a series, let's see, what is this called? Just give me a sec here. Oh, I don't think I'll have it in here. First game. Oh, there you go. Extra Credits. Extra Credits has a series of, I think, 3 to 4 short videos about making your first game. And I highly recommend you start by watching those. So let's see.
Are you looking to learn more about history?
Nope, not at the moment. I don't know if they have like an actual playlist of this or extra history, extra credits, writing for games, game design highlights, game careers, games you might not have tried, spooky specials, making it for a game. There you go. So look for that. Look for that playlist. It's got 6 videos in it.
If you write
making your first game, one of the really important one. This one, minimal viable product, scope small, is really good. well, they're all pretty good. So I'd start with that. Watch those, and that might deflate your aspirations. Making games is hard, man. It's a long process, and if you're really just getting started, you have to start really, really small and ugly and boring. You can't think that you're going to be making something fun and a long game that's got like 8 to 20 hours of gameplay and good graphics, and that's just not going to happen. You got to start really, really, really small. And then, something that could be done with your skill set and your knowledge in like a week, and then you move on to another project that might take you 2 weeks to complete, and then a little bit more complex, and then the next one's going to be like a month, and you work your way up. You work your way up to an actual good looking ish, because you're by yourself. You're not working with a team, so you can't expect to have like super nice assets and all that, because that would take more than your lifetime to make like I don't know, do you have a game in mind that kind of looks like what you're trying to do? Like if you had to name one game out there that's kind of what you're trying to do, do you have an idea? Do you have a source of inspiration for what you're trying to do? Look at that, I'm RE2. RE2, is that like an acronym for... Oh, Resident Evil. Okay, yeah. So let's see. What does that look like? I think I've played this one, but a long time ago. Resident Evil 2. And let's look at the original, not the remake. I don't know if we can. That's the remake. But anyways, okay, so this is a... Alright, so... Oh, that's gonna be annoying. Holy crap, okay. So this is third person, it's not first person. You actually see your character. And this is a really nice environment, right? This
Hello,
3D.
My name is Markiplier, and welcome to Resident Evil 2.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank
I
you.
am
What's
a
your...
little bit sick.
I don't want to hear it. Okay. So there's cutscenes. Those are kind of, work intensive. You need to know 3D modeling. You need to know animation. So that's another thing, right? 3D animation are easy things to get right, and especially if you want nice graphics. So a game like this, the remake, it is like years of it's like multiple men years. Like it's probably a team of like 100 to 200 people, and it probably took them like 1 to 3 years to the bunch of them to make this kind of game. So you by yourself, you could never ever make a game like this, ever. Forget that, right? So what you can do is something that's probably shorter. So I don't know how long this game is to play. Looking for Amy, you probably could, but I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Happy Boy Mira, who's wanting to make a what does he call it? Horror first-person puzzly game, and his inspiration is Resident Evil 2. Yeah, very cool. I'm just trying to... I'm telling him that he should start small. It would be his first game. So... You need to reduce the scope, man. That's what the takeaway from all this is. Need to reduce the scope and your expectations. The graphics won't be this good, and in terms of how long the game is going to be, If this is an 8 to 15 hour experience, if you're doing this by yourself, depends how many years you want to spend on that project, but let's say you want it to be done in a year or two. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Itch.io has a lot of small projects that were built, even some that were built for like game jams, and that could give you a good idea, Happy Boy, of what you could probably do in a relatively short amount of time, a reasonable amount of time. So, anyways, that's what I have to say about this. Now back to our program. So, how you doing? Looking for Amy? All right. About what, 3:30 in the afternoon for you there? All right. Taking a small break from work to watch me bang my head against the wall. It's got a new house to rent approved, so moving. Oh, just graduated with a 9, so cum laude. I don't know what a 9 is, but cum laude, that's good. Awesome. Oh, okay. 9 out of 10. 90. That's excellent. Excellent. Congratulations to both of you. All right, so what I'm doing, hey, how's the music volume for you? Is that too loud? Can you hear me fine? Cool. All right, so what I'm doing right now, oh, let me show you. I've got, where did I put this? All right. I did a very simple, well, that's just a skeleton. I'm going to build on that, but that's the CLI right there. So if I do npm start, boom, I got my prompt. It doesn't do anything yet. Yo, just another prompt. It says have a great day when I exit. But anyways, so I thought I could use that to kind of test the game and get some live feedback. And okay. And now we're okay. Oh yeah, I'm making a step function to move the game along. And the first thing I thought I would need to do is check if we're at the beginning of an age. If we are, to deal 7 cards to each player. And this is what I'm doing here, the deal deck function. So for each players in our player array, boom, I was thinking of simply, okay, I'm grabbing the appropriate deck. So I've got all my decks here in a simple array where, oh crap, just realized I'm off by 1 error here. There you go. So index 0 is age 1, index 1 is age 2, etc., etc. So this .dex, grab the age ID -1 will give us the proper deck, and then probably just a splice 0 to 6. No, 0. Start at 0, delete 7. Right. Delete count. Yeah, that's right. So if I do that, technically it should deal the entire deck to each players. I don't need to return anything. Oh, I do. I'll probably, well, not return, but I probably want to call this .step again at this point, because dealing the cards, maybe not. Do I want to return control to the user at that point? I'm dealing the cards, then yeah, I guess so. They're going to be the ones that have to do something next, right? Okay, so I'm pretty confident this is implemented properly. Let's, now my question was like, how do I know? Well, hold on. The one thing I was wondering, like in my head right now, the only thing I can think of is having the step function that's going to be like a bunch of if, if and switch statements and stuff that um, dispatch, to all my different game objects and other methods and stuff like that. Is that the right way to go? And then from my CLI here, I'd basically run the step function. That's the way to go, yeah. So get the input, run the step function, pass in the input, and then the step function dispatches to other classes and stuff. Okay. So let's do it that way. Now, my question, what I was wondering or pondering was, how do I know that I'm at the beginning of an age and that I need to deal the cards? That's the way to go, but there are many different implementations that would work here. Okay, go on, go on. I'm intrigued. You could use a state machine type to determine which actors can act. Step then just processes a state transition. What would that look like? I would have a different class. Action state, think reducer, redux to determine what happens. Right. Would it have to be immutable? Like in Redux? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Okay, that's an interesting idea. What do you want to accomplish here? What do I want to accomplish here? I want, with a minimal amount of code, to make my game work. That's what I want. That's what I want. At this very moment, what I'm trying to do is just determine how to get the age going. How to determine if the age has just started, if it's like a new age, and that I have to deal the cards. That's not a bad idea. That's a very good idea, actually. Yeah, that's a good way. I was just going to use a flag, but that's even easier. I like it. Let's do it. I think I have an interface here for age. I do. Let's add 8 turn. Turn is going to be. Are they planning to bring ranges to TypeScript number literals? That would be awesome. Because you can also determine when the age is supposed to be over. Yeah, it will be turn equals initial cards per player. Well, not quite actually. There's six turns, 7 cards, but 6 turns because the last turn you're actually discarding one of the cards and playing the other one. But yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if you could do like, you know, turn 0 to 10 or something like that. But I stepped the first turn, so the first turn equals 1. 1 plus 6 equals 7. Okay. Yep. Well. Now we've got 7 cards initially. Not 8. Oh, okay, you've got that. Good. Okay, here's the thing. If we start off with 1, just gonna do a number here for now. If we start off with 1, let's get back here. If we start at 1, and then we do the check if, you know, age.turn equals 1, then deal the cards. Then age2, oh yeah, okay. Turn is one of those things that you don't need to model, but in this case it makes sense to do it if you program it like this. You'd make an actual class for it. Yeah, I'd rather keep it simple. Simple, clean if I can. Okay. So that's what I'm inclined to do. Just add the 2 if statements. So number. And then, do we always have the same amount of turns? We do. So I could make a string number literal if I wanted to, but whatever. Age.step if age.is first turn deal if age is last term, age process, something like that. Okay, so we want to yeah, we want to do that in an age class, which I don't have right now. I think all we had done was just like a little temporary object here. So let's make one, I guess. LTS. So now you can make age imp and everything else stays the same. Oh, right, I gotta because I already have my okay number. There we go. Oops. Butterfingers. All right. So what do we need here? We need ID, direction, and turn. We're going to set that when we construct them. We don't really need a constructor now that I think about it. Do we? No, we don't. We just set those and we're good to go. ID starts at 1. Direction starts... actually... are we going to use... How is that going to work? Are we going to use like an age1 object, an age2 object, an age3 object? Or are we going to mutate the ID and the direction from this age implementation thing? Do you know what I mean? Oh, I know it's up to me. Everything's up to me. I'm just wondering what would be the best way to do this. You could have progress to next age, returning new age object. Which I think is the nicer way. I think so too. I think it fits the model better, right? Because they're different ages. So then we would need a constructor. So you can freeze this shit. Constructor. Just put that in here. Like that. Let's make this a... Yeah, let's make it a public for now anyways. Public read only, like it. ID will default to 1 for the first one, right? And then public read only. Got it right here. So direction equals clockwise for the first one. And then actually let's turn public put read only. Turn is going to be, that's always going to be 1. So really I don't need a constructor for this. D, instead of progress to next age, you can just call it next, because an age by itself doesn't do shit except for keep a turn. That's true. Turn number is equal to 1. Okay. Like that, and then we could do next. And the logic in here is that basically whenever we'd call it, we'd increment the turn number until it hits the max, and then it would actually return a new... No, that doesn't make sense. What would we do here? Well, for sure we'd want Either you need to have two methods or one that always returns an age. Oh yeah, right. No, I like that. Always return the age, just increment the turn number. I like that. What would you prefer, having two different ones, or makes for a nice API if you just have the next, just the one method, and it's always returning a new age. Then yeah, I really like that. Really like that idea. Now why, oh, because we changed the turn, oh, it's turn. Why, how did I end up with turn number? I think turn is just fine. What are we missing here? Miss interface age, types of property ID are incompatible, type number is not assignable to type 1, 2, or 3. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Why does it do that? Okay. I just have to type it the same way. That's why it's... That is why. Okay. So I guess this should also be the same thing. Okay. Like that. Cool. Now, so let's start with if. Well, we'll worry about that later. Let's just start with the incrementing our turns. So we hit next. The simple thing we do is list.turn blush blush. Right? Now it's saying, hey, this is read only, you bum. Crap. So what do I use? A setter, or I just make it no, I'm gonna need that information. I need to, can you make a private setter in TypeScript? Never tried that, I don't think. Private set, what are we gonna call this thing? Just turn setter or set turn. Can't use the same thing. Oh, that's private. I'm going to do that. Turn value is going to be one of those. And then I don't know why Prettify always does that. Anyways. This dot, yeah, it still won't let me. Will it? That doesn't make much sense what I'm doing right now. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with this, but so we can make this, let's see, and set the private turn, that, and then get turn, boom, is going to be, who cares about that, just return this dot turn, oop, this one. That's it. Yep. Okay, and now this dot turn, and we're good. Perfect. Excellent. Okay. Now next, will increment the turn unless if this dot turn is equal to what did we say? 7, right? Because we're starting at 1. There's technically 6 turns. So if 1, then we played a turn. Then we increment it, we end up 2. So it's at the beginning of the turn. So technically, if turn is, if turn is 7, then you should set. Actually, it's true. We said that we're always returning new age here, so. Perhaps you want to add a new top level constant called turn limit or something like that. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a very good idea. Avoid magic numbers. All right, I like it. Okay, and if it isn't, then I can just do return new age implementation. I need to, so the turn will automatically be 1. I need to have the ID be this dot ID plus plus, and doesn't like that. I want it to be specific because I typed it like this. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna need to, you can cast it, yeah, cool, let's do that. Would you do it that way? Simply? Okay, yeah, better. Well, I could have done that here too, I guess, right? Let's see, type of, if I just do this.id, would that work? No. Age.id, right? Nope. Oh, that's how I gotta do it, okay. Didn't know that. No, it still doesn't work because age only refers to a type, but does it have to be age implementation? Is that? Okay. Without type of? Oh. Like that. Is there a reason why that wouldn't work? Huh. Because agent is a type, but not a namespace. Did you mean to retrieve the type of the property ID in age? Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. I don't know. I've never done that before. Age is already a type. So I can just do this. Okay, so the dot thing only works if it's a namespace. Got it. All right. Oh, now what? Because it's a read-only property, of course. But now you need parentheses. Like that. Yeah. Or, I think this would work. No, damn. Oh yeah, that's the same, it's just. Oh. Really? Okay. Like that. Okay. I get it. Yeah. Now we got it. Cool, 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 cool. All right. So that works. Up until this is gonna break when we get to the end of the game, though. But I'll worry about that in a second. So how do we switch from clockwise to counterclockwise and back again? We could just do let's const direction equals. We could make it a ternary, which I don't super like using, but wow, that seems complicated. Yeah, I think that would be easier to do. So it would be simply this dot direction is equal to clockwise. Then how does it go? Oh yeah, that way. Otherwise, so if it is, you return counterclockwise. And if it isn't, you return clockwise. Something like that. Oh, now what? Why did I do? Whoa! Missing my equals here. And then I can just do direction. How's that? Does it make your eyes bleed? Turn the new age. Yeah. Alright, so we're returning the new age ID, the correct direction. And now we were just talking about making a const for this here, which I think is a good idea. Now you were saying a top level. So I think you mean to put it here. And we're going to call this max turns or turn per age is turns per age. How's that? You don't export it, so it's fine to put it there. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be, well, anyways, for now, we're not going to be using it anywhere else. Yeah, we've had a discussion about this. It's not really a property of age. I personally am not a fan of class level constants. And I think that makes a lot of sense. All right, so we've got what we need to increment our turns and to switch to a new age from age 1 to age 2, age 2 to age 3, age 3 to the it all blows up. So what do I do? What do I do when we get to age 3 so that I don't, well, yeah, throw an error would be right, because we shouldn't even be calling dot next if we're getting to the end of the age, right? No, that's totally, yeah, I think that's right. So if this dot turn equals turns per age, would I put it in here? If this dot ID equals 3, right? We should just never get there. We shouldn't call next if we're in that state. Put it in the constructor. Oh, I would have never thought to do that. I like it. Yeah. Because then it covers all possible. Hold on. If that. Yeah. Sure. I like it. Yeah. Very nice. If this dot turn is equal to turns, or actually I could just do, oh yeah, I can just do ID if ID is bigger. How's that? Than 3. If for some reason somebody managed to put something that they're not supposed to in there. Bigger than 3. Throw. New error. Dude, what the heck are you doing? I always wonder what to call my error messages. We're gonna go, okay, so a custom error here. Okay, cool. So do you mean like to actually do something like this? Catch that later if it needs to be. Constructor. Well, let me try to implement it by myself before I look at the. Just for fun. That's how I would do it, I guess. And simple as that, right? And then you get to use instance of. No, of course not. I was just. You thought I took you like literally. I would make a custom error. Okay, custom error. No, I was just showing you what I thought you meant. And always add error capture stack trace. This, okay. But doesn't, by extending error, it doesn't provide that? You don't have that on the prototype already? Right. Okay. So, all right, well, first, let's find a good name for this. So, let's call it age range error, something like that. Age out of range. Out of range error. How's that? I think I like it. So we could, okay, and now release notes, to example. Okay, let me look at the first thing you sent, which was this. Hey, I know this guy. Okay. No export error. Let's just look at this one. Oh, and you shove that in the constructor. Ah. Huh, huh, huh. Well, I gotta think about this. What does that do? So we're... Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what we're doing here. Okay. So basically we want to set new target, right? I have had to use this. What was I trying? I think I was trying to extend string at some point, and I had to do that. I can't remember why exactly what I was trying to do, but oh, look at that. There's a new target.prototype. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I was doing. So that sucks. I mean, what the heck, TypeScript? All right, cool. So that's awesome. So that way we get a stack trace, and this was the breaking change. Extending built-ins like error rate and map may no longer work. Are they planning to change to fix that? Because that's really dumb that we have to do this. Well, I mean, JavaScript with types is awesome, but if you have to start fighting, one of the nice things about JavaScript, I think, is the way you can easily extend built-ins. Huh. Awesome. Well, that's the way we're gonna do it. Cool. So now we've got our age out of range error. Now, do you think it makes sense to have this in our age file along with the age implementation class, or would you actually put that into a separate file? Right. I've seen both. It's whatevs, yeah. Okay. So I think for now, I'm going to keep it there. I think it makes sense to probably put it somewhere else if another class starts using it. But for now, I'll just leave it there. So, okay, now we're going to call this beautiful error. And now I guess we can actually make the message, let's see. So we could probably pass in the ID. Okay, let me just age out of range error, pass in the ID. So instead it's gonna take a age ID, and that's going to be a number. And I would probably pass it in the ID and make the message in the ID. That's right. That's what I was going for. Awesome. Number? number. Make the message in the error number. I don't know, but I don't know what you're saying here. But what I was thinking of doing is age, and then just pass in the age ID. Age ID is out of range. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's already called an age out of range error. Well, age, this is out of range. Duh. Age, valid age range is 1, 2, 3. How's that? Here we go. So we've got this here, good, otherwise it just proceeds with the... So I think we're good. I think we're good. Now, let's get back to our game here. We call step. And now we, oh, okay. We gotta change this. Now age, when we create, we just do new age implementation. And we don't need to pass in anything. Good. Now, what do I do? If I so I think I can just do if no. If this dot age dot turn is equal to 1. Deal 7 cards to each players. Yeah, okay. So I simply call this dot deal deck. This makes sense, I think. So let's see. Let's try to actually use this. See what would happen. So I call main. I need to game setup. I've got an async function here. That returns my new game. Right. Just go with it. It's okay to change later. Just go with it. What do you mean? Set up game. Do I need to pass in anything here? No, I don't. I'm just, for now anyways. But at some point we're gonna need to pass in some info. Or you were asking if it was okay like this. Oh, the age, yeah. or this here. I want to actually see. So let's see if I were to just const game equals setup game. Now the problem is this is a promise. So I need to think about this here. Need to wait for, unless I make the whole thing, I could make a big async function and then just call that function main. We're making this an async, right? Async function main. Yeah. Just shove all of that in here. Then all we need to do here is this, okay. So const game, await, setup game. That's gonna change for sure. This is kind of just a testing thing, because we'll have to pass in the player names and all those things eventually. But for now, we're just hard coding it in there, as you can see. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. So we've got our game object. Now we've got our prompt. Cool. Now what? Now what? Let's do, how do I want to use the CLI for now? Just to basically step the game, right? That was the idea. So online, we're going to step at the prompt. That's right. I'm just thinking that I want to get some feedback, right? So maybe game.step could return, like, we're interested in seeing the state, right? Or maybe I could just use the debugger for that. I don't know. So right now our idea is that we just want to implement the simplest game mechanic, which is to discard and get coins. And we want this to run and make sure that it, the turns are incrementing and then the ages are changing, and then we're dealing the cards and we're discarding and discarding and getting money and getting money. And at the end, we got the state that we're expecting, right? You'd use the debugger for that, yeah. All right, so perhaps you check line. If it's S, you step. If it's P, you print the game as JSON. Or we could just use the debugger. I would have to hook it up though. I don't think I've set it up. Do we have anything in here? No. Okay. Okay, so how do I do this again? I think I've done this in another project not too long ago. Let's see. Do. I think it was probably in here. No, in this one. Oh no, that's the actual. I think that's it. Oh! I think I remember seeing now that you can actually copy. Where did I see that? In the latest VS Code release. I think you can now copy from one instance of VS Code to another instance by dragging the files, which you couldn't do before, right? Or move them or whatever. Did you see that? So I think this used to work. Oh, perfect. That's kind of what I wanted. I think that's, yep. All right, so I had 3 things here. A way to actually pick the process. And this would, this sort of integrated build, TSC build, TSC config. Okay. Pre-launch XDS config. What's the difference here? A file, launch program REPL. Ah, yes. I remember I had two different things here. I'm not gonna need this. Actually, let's delete this one. What did I have in my package.json here? No dist. Right. Okay, let's do that too, I think. Right now, start. I've got TSC started before it. So instead, we'll always call it with R debugger. Yeah, that works. So now, program folder source main.ts. We don't need any args. Build. Console integrated terminal of files. I'm not sure I've got this set up properly. Let's take a look at what do I have in here. Okay, that's good. Okay, so that's cool. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. So if I do debug, I want to use the launch program file. Executing task. Cannot launch because corresponding JavaScript cannot be found. Source main. Is that what I've got here? Source main.ts. Workspace dist. if I'm looking at this one here. Let's run at this. Ah. Okay. I see what's going on. It has to be the same. That's kind of weird. Build tsconfig.json. And when looking at this, it really has just dist. And we have, this could be it. Let's try it again. Nope. Did it generate source? It didn't. Okay, hold on. That's the thing with tools, eh? Was it this one? Right. I've got source map. Probably need that. That's probably the, what might be the problem. Okay. Source map. True. All right, let's try this again. Oh, okay. That's what that was a problem. So let's close that down. Good, 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 good. Debugger attached, and I've got my prompt there. Very nice. Okay, so we're hooked up. That's all I wanted to do. We are in a business. Can get rid of this. Okay. Now, what was I doing? Game step online. Then give me the prompt back. And then, okay, so I can just, okay, let's try this. Let's try this debugger. And we're going to set a breakpoint. I guess right here. Let's do this. Ooh, exciting, exciting stuff. All right. Now have we hit our, okay, I think the first prompt, right. So the first prompt, we haven't done anything. So it didn't hit our breakpoint, but now it should. Yes, good stuff. Now I get to inspect the state. I can actually just do it here, right? I think. No, doesn't work. If I just hover. Huh. It's supposed to. Usually does. Whatever. I have it here. So, age 1. Good. We're going clockwise. Good. It's turn 1. It is. Dex. We've got our 3 ages with 21 cards in them. Very nice. Our discard pile is 0. we've got our 3 players. One is named Phil, the other one's named Bob, the other one is named Joe. Cool. All right, now let's keep rolling with this. Good. Now we get another prompt, and it should deal the cards now. Right? Cause, or did it already? It probably did already, yeah. I should have stepped instead of just, but it did. See, our first age deck is now empty, which means that our players should now have, oh no, they have nothing because all I'm doing is removing the cards, but I'm not giving them to the players. I'm removing them from the deck. Okay, so this dot deck, that's actually Splice returns. Okay, hold on, let me get out of here. Splice returns the removed elements, doesn't it? Remove elements from an array, and if necessary, insertion, returning the delete. Yep, perfect. So then we can probably just straight up do player dot hand or player. What do I have here? Players of type player. And do we have access to? We've got the hand private here. Do I see a need to? We're going to need to set the hand. We're going to need to. All right, let's make a setter. Set hand. Hand is going to be a type hand. This dot hand. Oh, I didn't do my little thing here. So this dot hand equals hand. Right. Main. No, not main. Game. So this dot. So player dot wet. Oh, I'm already creating an empty array there. Do I want the ability to actually just So looking for Amy, if you're still there. What do you think of this? Do we want to have the ability to actually just boom set hand to a different array, or should we only expose methods to add to the array or remove to the array, like add cards or remove cards, or you know what I mean? Not sure. This is, of course, this is easier, but let's go with that for now. So then I could go this player, that hand. Why doesn't it work? Player is a type player. I probably have declaration player, of course. The player interface here. And I have a class player. So let's do this properly. Class player, player implementation. Implements player. Decoration, interface player. Okay. Like that. This. Like that. No. Cannot appear on type. Oh yes, so we don't need these. Like that. And I need an earn coin function because that's part of the public thing. Coin. Returns void. Okay. And a hand. How would that work if I can only set it? If all you have is a setter, then really it's not, let's see. Can I actually make that part of the interface? Nope. I cannot. But I have to somehow. Well, let's see. I've got player implementation here, so I need to change that in my game setup. Right. Okay. And that means here I've got player. No, that I can just keep like that. Player dot. Well, I could always just make an actual set hand function. But still, I'm curious, how does that work? If all I do is this, then the hand is what? Okay. And then if I go player dot, actually having a hand, it is a property. Interesting. And it's letting me do that. Even though there's no getters, it'll probably throw an error. And okay, let's see. It doesn't. Undefined. So how about we set the hand first. Player dot hand equals what is it supposed to be? Let's just make it equal. Oh, that's interesting. So you just get undefined. But TypeScript's not complaining. Huh. Interesting. So I think I would prefer to actually do a set hand function like this. Okay, and then I'm able to in here player dot set hand. To that. What do I do? Const hand is equal to this. Set hand, hand. There we go. Let's do that. Okay. And cool. So now first go, boom. If this dot h turn equals 1. Let's step in there. This dot deal deck. I'm confident this will work. Let's just skip over it and see what happens. Now our deck is empty. Our players have cool. They have a hand. I have an apothecary, a loom, a guard tower, a stone pit, a scriptorium, a workshop, and a stockade. And Bob has West Trading Post, Altar, Orvane, Claypool, Press, Marketplace, Bath. And Joe has a lumberyard, timber yard, a theater, clay pit, East Trading Post, a barracks, glassworks. Wunderbar. All right. Cool. Now, let's keep going. Let's keep going for fun. And step through another one. Now we should be at turn. Turn 1. What? Oh crap, we didn't. Wait, what? it's in the age. I gotta call the I gotta call. Okay, let's see. I gotta call for each step. I gotta call these, do it each dot. Wait. Something is not right. Age. Yeah, I'm missing. I am missing my. My next function. There we go. Okay. Then from here, I can just do this dot age dot next. Mm-hmm. All right, so this should. Okay. Boom. Then it's gonna do its deck dealing thing. So let's continue. And then enter again. Here we are. Now turn should be 2. Yes. Turn is 2. And I just do enter. Oh, I gotta do continue. I can probably set a conditional breakpoint here where I look for this dot turn. No, this dot age dot turn is equal to, we're looking for 7. I think that should work. Give this a shot. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Okay, so now we're at turn 7. Technically, I'm checking this. We're good. Getting the turn. Age dot next. Step in there. This dot turn is equal to turns per age. It is. We're changing the direction. We're returning a new age. Boom. And now. Oh, yes. Just, no. Crap. Screwed up. It's not, I'm lost. Abort. Okay. Start this over. Do that. And this. Okay. Now let's just step over that. Step over. No, that's my problem. If I do that, it'll take me back to... Oh no, okay, good. So, age. We're still in age 1. Oh. This age dot next returns a new... Oh, I'm not assigning... yeah, okay. Let's see here. If I go in age, what am I doing really here? When I call next, I actually return this. So every time I'm in here, I need this dot age to be this dot age dot next. Yeah. That's cool. So that should work. Let's do it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. That now. There we go. Age is now 2. Counterclockwise. We're at turn 1. If we keep going, let's continue. Continue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're now at step 7. Age 2, turn 7. And if we keep going, we're now age 3, turn 1. Now, let's continue. If I go boom, 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 boom. Okay. We're at 3, turn 7. And if we keep going, we should get an error. Right. Good, 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 good. Now, this means that I cannot... this should only be called if this dot age let's see if this dot age dot ID, this is where it just gets a little complicated, huh? So the only time so basically if the game is ended, if this age.id is equal to 3 and this dot age dot turn is equal to 7. Oh, so there you go. Actually, would it make more sense to do this on the age? Nope. Not really. So let's just make a nice little private. Game is over. Well, not quite, actually. Okay. I think we might be getting ahead of ourselves here. Oh, and look at that. It's 11 o'clock. I have got to go. Unfortunately. I have to continue this some of the time. Let's just push this. How did I end up with blocks here? I don't know. It's interesting. Oops. Oh yeah, okay, no, I think that's the right thing to do. So, yeah. Implement. Step. Function. It's called game. Step function. Sure. There we go. All right. I might be back on this afternoon. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. But for sure, I should be streaming tomorrow morning, 9 Eastern time as usual. Thanks for watching.